Hello friends, it's Peg here. The first part of this video is very sped up because we have 5 minutes 38 seconds of very ugly, and if you want to get past that you can go to that particular section of the video where I try to clean up some of the mess. I don't normally show a lot of this type of thing, but we all have these moments where we're not creating things that make us happy. We're just messing around in a book or chatting with friends and not paying much attention to what's going on the page. And man, it got out of control in a hurry here today. Now, I don't mind so much the way this started out. There are actual sections where I'm saying to myself, oh, should have stopped there. Oh, should have stopped there. Oh, my goodness, you really should have stopped there. But I didn't. And I just kept going and I just kept making matters worse and worse and worse. So I'm going to try to come back from that. One of the things that happened here was I was using a bunch of colors that I don't normally go towards. And partially because I have a lot of acrylic inks that I need to play with and work with, and if I don't use them, I need to pass them off to somebody else who will use them. But these inks have been sitting on my shelf for a while, and I've done some rearranging in my studio again. Surprise, surprise, rearranging once again. And these inks just came out, and you know I'm not a pink girl. I'm usually not a purple girl, but I've been using a lot more purple this year. So I thought, well, get out the pinks, get out the blues. So I had primary magenta and micaceous iron oxide and cerulean blue from the golden fluid acrylics, but then I also had a bunch of Daler-Rowney acrylic inks, and in particular like a portrait pink. Okay, that might work for some fleshy tones, but I wasn't really digging it on this page. Now, I was talking with some friends, and I just gave them a flash of what I was doing, and they all loved the pink. Yeah, just wasn't feeling it. So I had to add some browns because, the pink wasn't cutting it for me. So, yeah, and then, browns for me mean you got to break out the blues. So I'm using these blues for accents on here, and it's just not coming together. So I end up peeling all of this stuff off and going back to a different surface. And that's where we're going to start the next section of the video because yeah, there's still maybe some hope for this page. Maybe not. I don't know. But we'll give it a try, right? So I like this sticker that I got from Diane Reevely in, um, I don't know, it wasn't speaking to me on this page. It was just, sticking out like a sore thumb because it was just glued down on the page. And I tried to, incorporate it by adding a little more stenciling on top of it. That wasn't working either. And eventually it just all has to go. It just has to go because, I go back to these colors that I had on the page, this primary magenta, and here we go, more pink. More pink. And oh my gosh, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Now, other people may like it. Just wasn't my thing. I wasn't feeling it at all. So it is changing, and there will still be some pink in the undergrowth of this page as it grows out of this mess. But yeah, it's not going to be in your face because right now that pink is just way in my face, and I can't go there. So can you see the ugly growing? Can you see how I'm saying, oh, you're just making matters worse? Oh, you've got to stop. You've got to go walk away from this and do something else. And so it's been a couple of weeks. I've been doing gardening and I've been lots of things. Got a new kitchen countertop, painted walls, painted fences, did all kinds of things. Did not come back to my journal. I did work in another small calendar journal, but I did not work in this one. So here we are, the colors that I'd been working with. These are the magenta colors. Here's that portrait pink. This is from Dollar Rowney. And I don't know, I may come back to some of that, but let me get these out of my face because I think I'm done with all of that. And let's go to some stenciling. Now, you know, it's spring. And you know I got a thing for flowers, right? So what are the first stencils I started? Stencils and masks I started pulling out, right? This is a really old mask. It might be a Heidi Swap or something. I've had this for years and years. Back to my days of scrapbooking. This one is really interesting. This is a stencil girl. Looks almost like cloth or something. This is another stencil girl mask. I don't know who this is. Might be kind of interesting. This one I think is a Tracy Batista. And like this a lot. Pretty busy. But I'll set that one aside. I may use a portion of that. I don't know. I think I'm liking this one here right now. And I'm looking at the page. As you can see, here's what we ended up with after I pulled that ugliness back off of there. And there's portions of this that I kind of like in here. Some of this right in here. So I may try to preserve that just by using portions of this mask on here. So let's see. I've got some paint. Let me get something to work on here. I just need something to put some paint out onto. So, you know, I got a bunch of stuff. So here's just a atlas paper. And I'm going to use that for my cleanup paper. Because I got a lot of it. And it doesn't bother me to put some paint on something like this. That one's Atlanta. What's on the other side? San Francisco. Let's use San Francisco. I don't know why. All right, so I've got some DecoArt Media paint. This is a Phthalo Green Blue. Let's try some of that, shall we? I think that might be kind of nice contrast to this pink. Phew, to that pink, yeah. To that end. So I'm going to get one of my trusty, now these are makeup sponges, and you can wash these out, which I have done. You can see I've used this any number of times. So I think I've got this where I want it on the page. So let me just pick up some of that. Let's see what that does for me. If it does anything for me. I should put, see, I've got this other page right behind here. Should put some paper in behind there because for some reason this book is not folding over quite the way I thought it should. So let's flip that up. Take a look. Oh yeah, I'm liking that better already. See, sometimes you just have to get out your stencils and make a change. So this mask is also from Stencil Girl, Tracy Batista. I love Tracy Batista's flow and florals. You know, she's originally Hawaiian, I believe, and she has a command of color and flow that is just near and dear to my heart. So if you don't know who she is, go check her out. You'll figure out who I'm talking about. Now I want to get this corner. Get some of that blended in. Let's see where we are with this whole thing. Oh yeah, see, I like that a whole lot better already. So, and I've got some open area here with some of that texture down in there that makes me happy. Gonna move my mask over here. And I might need a little bit more of that phthalo blue-green. Load up my sponge. Now, do I want that there? I think I want to shift this over just a little bit. Yeah. That'll hit that pink. I'm trying to preserve some of the areas that I really like. Now, before I do that here, I think I need to add something in here. What did I do with those stamps? I've been rearranging. You know what that means. I have to stop and think about where I put things. All right, I don't know. Don't know where I put the things I'm looking for. Well, when you don't have what you're looking for, it's time to do something different. So let me take a pen, if I can find the one I want. Man, you know, when you've been away from your desk for about a week, it's just like everything is foreign. And that's the way I'm feeling right now. Is this what I want? This will work. This is a Staedtler Lumicolor with one of these nibs that's it's like plastic. So I think I want to do So that's just a little bit of scribble work there, scribble text work. So now when I put this stencil mask down, that will be underneath there. So when I take my color and add it, I just want to blend that out a bit. You'll see that scribbled text underneath, which is what I want. I'm not going to go up there. I don't know if I will or not, but right now I'm not. Right now I'm just going to be happy with covering up some of the ugly. Let's see how I like that. Yeah, see, I like that. So, what's on this one? This one has a few different florals. I like this kind of rose looking floral here. So let's see if we can add that. Don't know how it's going to work out with this, but we'll just go for it, right? Yeah, that worked out okay. Now this blob here is bugging me. So I've got to do something right there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think I've solved some of the ugly. So let me show you the difference here. If I can get this up closer to the camera. See, now I like the contrast between the pinky browns and greens here. And I've still got a lot of the texture in these areas. So we might actually save this. I'm going to take my sponge now. I want to see what happens if I add a little bit of titanium white to that green, what I get. If it's a color that makes me happy or not. It's very minty color. Minty. Because some of the edges of this page kind of bug me. I'm wondering what would happen. See, now here I go again. I'm going back in and getting maybe too many layers, too much stuff again. But I want to add another layer in here. Bring that color back. Yeah, I like that. So let's go down on this corner, around the edge here. Need some texture across the top here, just a little bit. Don't have to do anything major. And if it gets a little bit too wild, you can always come back with another area of your sponge here and blend it out. It needs a little bit there. Let's go down here to the bottom. Okay, so now got this other ugly corner. I want to change that out. So I just come back with that minty tone. And I'm not going to do a lot up here. I like that quieter space in there. And maybe just a little bit to brighten up in this area. Yeah. And yeah, go ahead. Keep going, Peg. Just keep going. So, yeah. Okay. Stop. Time to stop. So let me fold that over. And I'm gonna get this into the water so I can wash it out later. And I'm gonna just clean this off on this matte paper. If there's anything still wet on there. All right. Now let's see, where are we? Yeah. I kind of like that. So going back to this mask. I think I want to do some emphasis now. So let me get that. I got this pen, but I might want something a little bit bolder. So let's see what we've got here. Got these new big Posca pens. They are really bold. Have you guys seen these? They're pretty amazing. So that's a multi-ball, which is a real thin line. Oh, I might use a pencil. Why not? Let's use a pencil. This is a. Do I want that or do I want to? This is a Prismacolor. I think I want to. Yeah, I think I want a Stabilo to go around here. I'm going to bring out this floral. And I need a brush. And this is not the, see, I've got all the wrong stuff out here. Let's see. Here's a water reservoir brush. So let's do some of this. Get my rag because that's getting pretty bold. Take some of that Stabilo off of my water reservoir brush, right? And I want to squeeze some water through there because I want to blend that out. When it gets a little bit too dark, I can always bring it back until it dries. Once it dries, it's pretty much permanent. So let me speed along and do some work. So I'm just doing the basics, the shading and highlighting to bring out some of the imagery and make some things stand out more than other things in the background. So I'm using my Stabilo all pencil and a water brush, and then I'm going to use a Posca pen. I'm going to add some quotes. If you're like me, you've got a plethora of quotes, stickers, that sort of thing. I do write in my other journal, I do write down some of my favorite quotes, and sometimes I will just write them in my journal. But I've also got all of these sticker book things that I need to use up, and I like some of the things that are in there. So I'm going to make this page say some of the things about working on this page. So the first quote is, "Laughter is the best medicine if a pharmacy closes before you can pick up your prescription." So, so I am laughing at myself and, how sick I thought this page was and how I needed a prescription for fixing it because it was deep into the ugly. And, so we found a prescription that I'm satisfied with, not the best work I've ever done, but it's a journal page, and I'm happy with how this turned out in the end. So, because it took me so long, because it took me, I don't know, days to do this, I had to come back and look at it and figure out what I wanted to do to that ugly background. I said, get your funk on, just go for it. Sometimes you just have to get down and funky. And the next quote says, get quiet and listen, which is, get quiet and listen to yourself and what your heart and mind are telling you to do, and the answers will come. So that's where I went with this. It was just letting this page speak to me, using these colors that I'm just not normally accustomed to working with, and letting it happen. There are probably more things that I could do to this, but I'm pretty happy with how it all ended, and so I'm going to just show you my extensive quote collection and pull those out of the box. These are from Studio Light, art by Marlene, and I like the fonts, I like the funk. Uh, I'm just feeling that they complement what I've got going on this page. And actually, I ended up liking this pinky, rosy tone with that phthalo green combo. You know, it's not something I would normally think about using. So, you know, get out some colors, be brave, be bold, get your funk on, and see what you can create. I appreciate you guys all so much for your kind comments and for giving me thumbs up and being here with me as I do these art projects. And hopefully, I'll get my garden planted here soon. Even if it's not planted on the rainy days, I can come in and maybe put some of these florals in on a journal page or some other art project. And I will put some parting shots in here so that you can get some close-ups. And I will see you again soon. Love to you all. Remember to be kind. Sprinkle it all around. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.